The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. You. It's for you. Can you sing it with me, baby? Can you sing it with me?
Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Lady J. And that's right, Relationshipology is back. No, I'm not live on air tonight. This is just the debut show tonight because we're going to go probably a little over. So tonight we're just streaming on all of the different pages. So if you can, please make sure that you go follow, like, and share JQL on radio. We are live on that page as well as Ego Entertainment Network. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network, as well. And of course, I'm streaming live here. But before we get into these topics, y'all, and these guests tonight for dating dumps, I want y'all to know how to tune into JQL on radio and how to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in as well. Why? Because if you're not a listener, you should be. So, real quick, this is how you do it. If this is your first time tuning into the show or to JQL on radio and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQL on radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQL on radio 24/7, 365 via Amazon Alexa, TuneIn app, the Stream and Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find located on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us. We do follow back. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. You can also connect with Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EgoEntNet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. Also, connect with us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network, at youtube.com/Ego TV Network. All right. So now that you all know how to tune in, now we can get into this thing. So I have a couple of guests tonight. And right now we have my friend Sarah, who will be joining us tonight. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. We have DDL joining us as well. And we're going to have Keith Omar joining us tonight. So I'm just waiting on the other two to come in. But until then, me and Sarah's going to get this thing going. Because listen, y'all out here in these dating streets doing the absolute most. Okay? The absolute most. So listen, and usually, our girl Latasha is usually on with us, but tonight we're going to talk about dating dumps. So there are some things going on in the dating world, in the dating pool, that just shouldn't be happening. And we see it, happening a lot. And we see the shift taking place, whether it's gender roles, whether it is men now no longer wanting to court women, not wanting to take them out, to women taking the level of entitlement to a whole nother level, and the savagery to, it just goes on and on and on. And for those of us who are 40 and over, like myself, we are not here for the foolishness. We're just not. So, so me and Sarah talked about men approaching you, wanting to date you, and wanting you to come to their house for the first date. Right? Or not wanting to take you out on a date, not wanting to spend money, and things of that sort. Now, my take on this is, first and foremost, men have a responsibility to take accountability for women feeling like they should spend a certain amount of money on them when they first meet them to take them out. Because you say that you don't want a woman that is all about money or that is a gold digger, and yet that is what you put on display to try to get her. It's the same way with women. You say that you want a man to take you seriously, that you want him to look at you as a wife and not a piece of meat or just something that he wants to screw. And yet, what you're advertising is your body. You leave nothing to the imagination. So you have to make it make sense. So I don't know, Sarah, what you think?
So I definitely agree. It's a lot of different movements going on out here in these streets, and it's ridiculous. I think what is really concerning to me about this this whole dating trend, I don't even know if it's a trend, but it's a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
With the person safety. I don't think that safety is being taken into consideration, particularly from the male's
Mm-hmm.
perspective. You're out somewhere, you meet a woman, she's gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
there's a good vibe, you like her, you exchange numbers, you talk on the phone
Mm-hmm.
24 hours, less than, and then the
Mm-hmm.
next conversation is, well, I would like you to have you for dinner, but I would like for you to come over to my home.
Listen, I think that speaks to a lot of men. So I've had men tell me that men will try something, let's say with 10 women. And if out of those 10 women, seven go for it, they'll continue to try it with other women. Even though three, the odds are in their favor, put it that way. So I mean, you have a lot of people out here, a lot of women out here that are into one night stands or sleeping with a man on the first, as soon as she meets him, or he tells her that she's beautiful, she's the the hottest thing smoking right now, and she dropping her drawers. And let's be honest, usually when you go to a man's home, especially on the first date, eh, it's not for him to get to know you. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's the same thing when if a man pays to fly you out somewhere and y'all just been talking on the phone, he is going to expect that when you get there, because he spent, I don't know where things shifted or changed, where men felt like because they spend a certain amount of money, now she owes him sex. I mean, is this prostitution? Are we escorts? I mean, what's going on here? So I don't know, Keith, what's your take?
All right. I think it has been, you know, I
We
just,
can't hear, barely hear you.
I don't want to take understood. Obviously, it's not an understanding for this conversation. So, but I do believe.
I think you're covering your mic or something, your speaker or mic, when you're moving your
Um,
phone. We can't hear you. It sounds real muffled.
that's bad. Um,
There you go.
y'all hear me?
I can hear you now, but you got to keep it still. Keep your fingers from. If you got a Bluetooth or a speaker or something on, because there's some feedback too.
It wasn't picking up. I don't know why it wasn't picking up.
Maybe you got to turn it off or something.
Yeah, I did that. I cut it off and cut it back on, and they
That's
normally pick
much better. Much
up.
better. Yes.
Okay. All right. So basically, man, now y'all can see me. All right. So basically, I think happens in that situation is all too often men have expectations, um, and I think it's kind of underlying an unwritten rule in the expectation.
Hmm.
Men have expectations of men, and whether they fear or not, the expectation is there. Now, me personally, I don't like to leave nothing to chance or coincidence or unwritten.
Hmm.
I am very clear of what I expect
Hmm.
whenever I'm with a woman. I am very clear of what it is I'm going to do and what you can expect from me as a man. Um, I just think we just too grown to not know. You know,
Too grown to not know what.
So,
I believe we're too grown not to know what each other's expectations are. That's why I make it clear. That's why I say, hey, look, if we're out and about, like I usually tell women, if we're out and about and this is a date, I am going to treat you like you are my woman. Have those expectations ready. The reason why you need to have those expectations ready is I am going to do everything with you as if you were my woman. Now, a lot of women, some women cool with it, some aren't. But I let them make expectations so they can let me know what I can and what I can't do. You
Right?
know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I'm very clear about it. So when we go on this date and I do anything, you are already understanding of what's going on here. And I would normally tell them outside of us sleeping together, you have asked to do almost anything with me as if you are my woman. Just like I have an expectation of doing those things as your man. You know what I'm saying? And normally, I don't think I've really had any pushback on it. Normally, women are cool with it. I just think people need to make it loud and clear, and as black and white as possible of what the expectations are.
But
Okay.
if I can interject really quick, that sounds all good, but that is not what I've experienced. I've not experienced any of that. I'm going all the way back to the basics, like the very beginning of just getting to know someone, having showing that common courtesy and mutual respect for a woman, just for her just being a woman, because you have respect for her out of common courtesy and the common courtesy display. That has went out the window. I There's no way in the world a man should be willing to invite me over to his home for dinner, and he hasn't even really spent time getting to know me, yet alone wanting to court me so that I'm comfortable being in his personal space. So what happened to just the basics? Having a phone conversation, meeting for tea, coffee. What happened to those simple things?
Modern women, that's what happens to that. Modern women happen to that. I mean, that's just a simple answer. I'm just being honest with you. You know, and I agree with you. I am one of the ones that, before I let you into my personal space or even in my personal business, I want to
Hmm.
have some time in with you. But modern women have crushed that. Modern women want everything done in a microwave phase. It needs to happen fast. Everything needs to happen at step of the finger. Um, I tell people this, like, for instance, Lady J and I had a conversation not even an hour ago, and I had made a comment that I really don't do relationship shows like this anymore, honestly. And a lot of people was like, well, because they've been wanting me to do it. They've been wondering where my face has been, where my opinion's been. And I said, really, I got into the whole idea of doing this to help couples become couples, to help singles become couples. And I tell people all the time, I don't get it right all the time. I was like, but I do know one thing. My ideas are good because most men and most women like my ideas. You know what I'm saying? Now, executing them is a whole nother thing. Um, like, I understand the reason why I've had a lot of failed relationships is not because of the man that I am. It's just where I'm at in life. All right. So I knocked that out the way. Now, in saying this, the reason I brought this up is there's a conversation I've been having with women here lately. And I think all too often, we as men, we become the bad guy. Because for whatever reason, women can't be held to a higher standard or can't be held to be accountable for almost anything. And a lot of it has to do with women in general siding with other women just because they're women. All right. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm a bitter man or anything out here because I'm not. Everybody who know me and Lady J testify to this as well, that I'm all about the ladies. I'm all about a woman's protection. I'm all about, a woman's right to have everything that she wants to have that's within fairness. But I do believe this. I believe all too often women act naive. And I say that because women can be so intelligent in everything, and women will tell you this themselves. We're the most intelligent beings on earth. If that's the case, why do you find yourselves in so many sucker idea situations? And I just be like, like it's crazy to me when it happens. And like I listen to some of my female friends tell me about some incidents that they've been in, and I'd be like, How did that joker even get an opportunity with you? Okay, so like you just said yourself, young lady, you said, you know, just basic stuff like, him and trying to invite me over without him even asking me, out for a coffee date you know, just a public setting or anything. Well, my thing is, did you set the tone for him to not even ask? Because I always say, ladies, you all have the ability. Well, first of all, it's not the ability. You all are in control of the courtship. The only thing we as men, the only thing that we control is who it is that we are pursuing. Any and everything else until the relationship is established, women, you control that. You absolutely control that. There any debate with that one?
I would just say, based off of the young lady's question, where are, I guess, this generation's men or whatnot? I agree with you, brother, totally that the standard has been dropped. So anytime a person, whether male or female, get comfortable doing things that are subpar when it comes to dating, that means that opposite gender has made it comfortable for them to do so. So that means you've come across 8 women that have allowed what that one woman has found offensive to be okay. Therefore, if you ladies stand on your square, then there are a lot of, I used to tell my daughters, quit complaining about these boys sagging and just don't date them.
Man.
When a boy sees that a girl ain't gonna give him a date until he pulls his pants up, sagging to go away a long time ago.
And that's true. That is very true.
I also say the brother is spot on when he say a lot of women play naive. Lady J, you and I have had this conversation in agreement that a lot of women say, I ain't no fool by all means. Why don't women's intuition kick in until after you done been played? It's because you were going along to get along. As long as you felt this persona seem a certain way, you were cool with it. A woman doesn't have a problem with a situation generally. It is until her integrity has been compromised. If a woman can do something unseemly and not get caught, she don't have a problem with it. It isn't until it makes it seem as though she's, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Well, he did this to me. No, we can't play the blame game if we both were in agreement. There's no victims if you're both signed the contract.
Well, now I agree with most of that. And let me just say real quick, for those of you who are wanting to comment, for me to see the comments, please go on the Ego Entertainment Network page, Facebook page, or the JQLM Radio Facebook page. If you are watching us on my personal page, Jaqueline Tay page, I cannot see your comments, just so you know, and I can't see who's watching. So please go over to those pages and comment over there. All right. Oh Lord, Ryan says DL.
Somebody
hey Ryan. Ryan Godfrey, he said, uh-oh. So let me tell you what I agree with most of what you just said. So for women, I'm a woman, so I can say this. For most women, a lot of women, when they go into the, let's say, dating phase, if they have, just a little bit of insecurity about themselves, if they are desperate, if they are not in a place emotionally where they can trust, or they have some sort of emotional damage, then things that they see that are attractive to them, things that they want, and things that they hear men say, you're beautiful. Oh, I want to, take you out, or I would love to do, ABCD. All of that stuff sounds good. She's not thinking about she's not paying attention, I should say, to whether or not his actions actually coincide with his words. And if they don't, and she does see that, she begins to make rationalizations in her mind and justifications as to why that may have happened. Ultimately, constantly letting him slide, ignoring the orange and the red flags and things of that sort. Men have to admit that they can see that. It's just like a dog. A dog and kids can sense danger. They can sense when somebody's not right. Men do the same thing. Mm-hmm. First of all, they pay more attention. They may not be emotionally tapped in like we are to our emotions and are able to express themselves in a way. Most men, some men, it's very rare, some men do, but most men don't. So, but when it comes to things like that, they pick up on that stuff. And the men who don't care to, I'll say, respect the women and not take advantage of women who are vulnerable, they play on those or prey on those emotions and prey on those things when it comes to women. Now, again, we have a responsibility as women, as both of them said, to whenever we give in to things like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna come to your house on the first date. You may not have done that, but the 3, 4, 5 women before you agreed to it. So guess what? He's gonna try that with you too, because the odds are in his favor. The odds are in his favor. And unfortunately, not only are we seeing a influx in the trend of men who don't want to take women on dates, who don't want to spend money with them. Some men want to test the waters before they even get to know you. So, and here's the thing, and that's okay if you say that up front. Because see, I played a post earlier today. You'd be surprised at how many men come in my inbox pretending like they want to connect with me on some business stuff. Hey, Lady J, you know, I got this show, or I got this business, I want to see if you can help me. And then once I say, okay, what's the idea? Then it goes into, you are so beautiful. Let me just say that you are so beautiful. And, sir, stop wasting my time. I'm over here working, okay? If that's what you wanted, you should have led with that. Don't try to use work or God or the Bible. If you're a Christian woman, that use God as a wingman.
Lady J, wait, you know? wait. I hear the Lord say that if you respond to this DM about me at my place, that you're gonna be blessed by
but yeah, so we have to learn how to curb that. So what I do, I just ignore it, or I'll say thanks for the compliment, but I'm not interested, and I keep it moving. And if you keep on, then you get blocked, and that's just it. So, but if you up front, if men are up front with, hey, I just want to hit it and quit it, or hey, I just want to have a one night stand, or hey, now most women, they get offended, but you got to know what kind of woman you come with. For me, I'd rather you come to me and say that, and I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be a no.
Lady J, I think you making our point. What that sign say behind me right there? It say, "Dang, DL," right? let me stir a little stank out this pot, right? 9 times out of 10, if I walk up to a woman and be like, boy, I would rip you up. Hey, let's go back to my crib and let's smash. And then after we smash, I'm going to take you to get you something to eat because we finna work up an appetite. If I don't get smacked or a drink thrown in my face, I'm going to get cussed out. Now, here's the deal. There are probably those 9 women out of that 9 I went up to that's all for it. But because they feel as though I was disrespectful. So you guys, again, have taught us to lie to you. Because just like you said, all you had to do is say something. But if we say something, then it's like, oh, how you going to come at me like that? I ain't that type. But once I give you a drink or two, if that's how you really feel, we'll get there. So you've taught us how to hunt you. You've taught us how to lie to you. Going back to your words, you taught us to say, hey, beautiful. Oh, man, that smile, it's something about you is different than any other woman. I might have done said that 20 times tonight. You'll never know that. It goes back to, let's just be, like my man said, up front. And Lady J, I'm very upfront. It's like this. Hey, look, man, let's stop lying. If you had, and then here come the hypothetical. This is why men speak in hypothetical. So you mean to tell me if you and I get together and your business stayed your business and didn't nobody know we was no more than business partners, would it happen? I mean, I ain't saying that it wouldn't. I'm just saying, I got to get to know you. That lets us know right there. Let me take my time filling her in. That's all I'm saying.
Now, I will say this. Women have to admit, though, that you're only offended if it's coming from a man that you're not interested in. Because if it's coming from a man that you're interested in, now I'm not saying that like people like me and Sarah. I'm not saying like women like me and Sarah, because here's the thing. I'm not going to be offended if you come at me like that in a respectful manner. because there's a right and a wrong way to do things. Men who be like,
respectfully say, "Can I smash?" How do? Because I need to know how do
that right there is disrespectful. If you
so I said, how is the respectful way to say?
Okay, I've had men say, for instance, I had a man ask me. Now you're gonna make me, I'm not gonna say the person's name. Hey, I had a man, tell me, man, Lady J, you are just, man, you are so beautiful. And it's like it's like you got the whole package. Thank you, appreciate it. I would love to make love to you. I'm just like, okay.
So he just wanted a piece of the package.
Exactly. I would love to make love to you. First of all, in my head, I'm like, first of all, you can't make love to somebody that you don't love to begin with. So okay, but two, I understand what he's trying to say. And okay, thanks for the compliment, and I keep it moving. And I say what I say, you know what I'm saying, to let him know, I ain't this ain't that. Now you called me maybe 10, 15 years ago. Now I'm gonna keep it transparent 100. People who know me know my story. Hey, I used to be a sex addict, so you probably could have caught if you caught me on the right day. If I knew you. If you was a stranger, it's definitely not going down.
I only meet people once they done got salvation. You know what I'm saying? Where was y'all at when y'all was out there? I always run across people once they done came.
Well, it wasn't so much about being saved. See, and a lot of men don't understand. Like, for me, I can't speak for Sarah, even though I know her story. She will be able to tell her story, however much of her story she wants to tell. But for somebody like me who's been sexually assaulted and abused and kidnapped and things of that sort, a lot of that type of behavior stems from that, especially when it starts at a young age. And so for a lot of us, we equate a man giving us compliments or wanting to interact with us as, oh, he likes me, or oh, he loves me, or if I do this and if I do that, you know what I'm saying, he'll be my man, or he'll become my husband, or whatever the case may be, until we get to a place where we start to unpack all of that trauma and you know what I'm saying, and understand who we are and really heal from those things. But again, women also have to take responsibility in this too. Men have a responsibility, yes, that if you are a man, I'm not talking about a little boy, I'm not talking about grown kids. If you are a man, no man is going to approach Sarah and be like, hey, beautiful, what's your name? I'd really like to get to know you. Will you come back to my place? Ain't no real man gonna do that. Most men are going to say, hey, let me take you, I would like to, can I get your phone number? You know what I'm saying? He going to talk to her a little bit, go out. Now, women have started this trend that's making men only want to play when they first meet a woman and not want to take them out, because we see an influx of women talking about, oh, he got to spend $150 on the first date, or you trying to take me to McDonald's or on a picnic. You broke. If you broke, you don't need to be dating. Like, no. First of all, I have 2 sons. If a man has to spend a couple $100s on you when he first meets you, just for you to like him or give him time of day, then you ain't the one, ma'am. Because that's his hard-earned money. He don't know you. He don't even know if he like you yet. Why do he got to spend that much money on you? That's an entitled spirit.
It's a street in my city to whereas I can go spend $40 and ain't got to buy no dinner, and I can go on my way in about 40 minutes.
All right, so when I was sitting there listening to Lady J, and you said something that I believe most women believe is true, but all men know it ain't. All right, you said that for real men, listen to this, if a real man is interested, he's interested. Listen, I'm going to say 98% of men that walk up on a woman, his intentions is to sleep with them.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's your nature, though. That's your nature. Right. You're going to want to sleep with somebody you think will look good, of course.
Right. But the difference is this. What comes out of a woman's mouth and how she carries herself changes how you go about
it. Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I say this because I have a friend I've known now, oh, Lord, how long? For 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
Lives in Macon, Georgia. All right. And this is the only one I've ever said and conducted myself like this with. That says a lot. This says a whole lot. And you know me. No one else on the show, unless they comment, know me. But you know me well enough to know how I conduct myself. And my reputation, precedes itself. You ain't never heard nothing out loud about my reputation versus who I am. I saw her. I'll never forget this. I walk into Walmart. I'm in Macon, Georgia. I see her. She's the first thing I see. And I said to myself, oh, wow. All right. And I'm looking. Now, I thought I said it to myself. I actually said it out loud. Because the Walmart greeter lady looked at me and she turned to see what I was looking at. Right. So I thought I said it to myself, but I did say it out loud. Now, I just looked at her, and like I said, based off how she carried herself, I said, all right, keep it moving, because she already taken. I said that based on how she carried herself. So, I go get whatever I need to get in Walmart, and I'm about to walk towards the checkout, and I see a big old wall full of cologne and perfume. It's a huge. So they got all the name brand cologne. I'm looking like, oh man, hold up, let me stop. Let me see what the smell good like. I'm looking. She walks up right next to me. And I ain't even bother to look, because like I said, I done made up my mind. Hey, she taking. We not even finna, entice ourselves over something that we know we can't get. Let's just stay focused. I ain't even look her way. So she turns to me and she asks me, she says, hey, can I get your opinion on something? How did it smell? What do you think? I smell it, I give her my opinion, and I go right back to looking at the wall. We do this 3 or 4 times. All right? So finally I'm like, man, forget it. I'm going to ask. I'm going to engage in this conversation. So I went on and engaged in the conversation. An hour later, I'm walking to the checkout with her, and we're still holding this conversation. I walk into a car, we exchanged phone numbers, and we've known each other ever since. We've dated a couple of times, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I had a home in Macon, Georgia as well. So I was in Macon every month. I literally was in Macon every month for about a week. At least 10 months.
But that was her way of letting you know that she was interested without approaching you or without, because a lot of women.
That's the key. It wasn't. That's what I want to talk about. So listen. So we had this conversation about 3 months later, right? About our meeting and talking in Walmart. So I tell her, hey, by the way, I saw you when I first walked to the Walmart, and I told her what I just told y'all. And so she was like, really? So that's the reason why you wasn't checking for me, right? I was like, yeah, I thought you were checking already. So I was like, we ain't about to, waste our time and get disappointed. So she was like, well, be honest with you, the only reason I was talking to you and out our conversation happened because you wasn't checking for me, and I knew I was cute that day. She was like, I knew I was cute that day.
And again, that's a mindset. See, women play mind games. Women play mind games just like men play mind games. Only our mind games are a little bit different because we want to see if you're gonna bite. We'll throw something out there, but I'm the type of woman where I don't even do that. Like I was taught like I'm not throwing no bait. I'm not doing none of that. Like, if you want to talk to me, you'll talk to me. Even if I think that you are handsome, if I think that you're somebody that I may vibe well with, I will never, ever approach you. You'll never know that I'm interested. I've had men from middle school and high school come to me now and be like, Lady J, like, I was so in love with you, but you wasn't checking for me. You're right. I wasn't checking for nobody. If you want to talk to me, then you should have came and approached me. But a lot of men, even like I said, in younger years, feel like when you're out of their league, if you will, then they won't say anything. But I think men also miss the mark when it comes to that, because if somebody like me, who's always been, let's say, in the spotlight and really personable with others and interacting with people, if you pay attention to how I treat people, I treat everybody the same, no matter what they look like, no matter what their status is, or none of that. So that ought to tell you that I'm the type of woman that I don't have the mindset that I'm too good for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a personality individual. So even if you are cute, if the first 5 minutes of words that come out your mouth is foolishness, I'm not gonna talk to you because now you ugly to me. Like, real talk. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how fine you think you are on the outside. But as I was saying before, like when it comes to these to dating, women have, like I said, have this entitled spirit. And it's more so, yes, it's young women, but even the older women now seem to be jumping on this bandwagon that just sounds ridiculous. Like for me, listen, I go on a date that costs $5. Listen, we can go to Kroger, go pick up a $2 thing of fruit and go to the Dollar Tree and grab some plastic wine glasses, get some sparkling punch, and we can walk ourselves right on down to the canal and have a conversation. I mean, it's that simple. If you're trying to get to know me, then that's it. I don't need no steak and potatoes and all that kind of food. I can do that my daggone self. Ain't no need of us going to a movie. We're not gonna be conversating. We're gonna be watching it. So, I don't understand women that have this mindset.
I know why.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I don't either, because they ruin it for women like me who don't have that mindset. You know what I mean? Like, and so every guy that I have met, I'm gonna say in the last 4 years, have given me that what's the word I want to use? That it's just not been a good outcome. I'm gonna leave it at that without saying too much. I think in the last 4 years, I've had 2 really great dates that I can remember, that were really just nice outings. We had a good time. It was respectful. I didn't put my defenses up and feel like, oh my God, like timid or scared because I didn't know what he was going to say. I'm just going to say, women like that make it bad for the rest of us, because then I think the men that I've encountered or come in contact with, they expect that because every other one has done it. You know what I mean? And so here I come. I'm one of several women that like me. Here we come. We different, and we not doing what the other previous women have done. And so we either get tested or ghosted.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, if you didn't hear me, if you're watching on my personal page, please go over to JQLM Radio page or Ego Entertainment Network's page so you can comment. We can see your comments and we can see that you're watching, because I can't see your comments if you're commenting on my personal page. All right.
I have a question for Sarah. Sarah, so those 2 dates, if they went so well, I guess the first question would be like, what was the outcome? And I think something you said that resonated with me, and you can tell me if it's true or not, or what you guys think. But you said you went in with your defenses down, and you wasn't like defensive or scared as to what might have been said. Could that been the reason that the atmosphere was set for that date to be done so well or gone so well?
I don't know. I think it was based on just the individual and like the vibe, the chemistry. It was just a relaxing engagement. I didn't hear any dirty talk. Like, I find it offensive when it's one thing for a man to give a compliment and say you're beautiful. Okay, acknowledge, let's move on. But then it's another when a man is like, man, you so effing beautiful. Ooh, I can do it. Ooh. And they just keep going and going, and then they staring me down all night and stuff like that. That makes me uncomfortable.
Sarah, I'm gonna let you know this right now. When or if something like that ever happens to you again, stop that date at that very moment.
Do you think I do? I do. And I have left
I'm talking about the first time. I'm talking about with the first time.
Listen. Bathroom in a minute. Like, I'll be right back. And I go, where's the exit? And I didn't call the Uber and I'm out of there. I don't play. I just be
now. See me,
you need to let them know. You need to let them know. That's the difference. See, my thing is the reason why you need to let them know is they need to understand there is a standard out there, because, like I said, so many modern women don't have one.
Right.
So the game is this now. This is the game. Like Lady J said, there's a cat and mouse game, period, to men and women. I wish there were. I really do. I wish there weren't, because we both want the same thing. The problem is, since we're playing this cat and mouse game, is how much can I get out of it before we get to the end of it, though? That's the problem. And
Lord Jesus, let's not even get on that. Oh Lord, let's not even get on that, because listen,
this goes to a conversation that Lady J and I had just had before the show came on. I told her I was going to get on a live and say this today, because like I said, for the last month or so, I've had people in my inbox and in my DMs and texting me like, "Yo, you ain't been on, like, talk about dating in a minute or whatever. We be looking for you sometimes. We be, see some people on their show like, dang, where O at? What's Keith at? What's happening?" And what's happening is I've been on a hiatus of talking about dating. My reason is I understand people just want it their damn way. They don't want to compromise. And the whole reason I want to open my mouth is I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help single people become couples, because we all want the same thing in the end. The problem is we just don't go about doing it the same way. Now, my whole thing is this: whatever's gonna get me to my ending, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Whatever's going to get me to the ending that I want. It's kind of like this. I tell folks this all the time. How many folks work a job that they really don't like? That's probably 85 to 90% of the people.
Mm-hmm.
But you do it because certain things have to happen at your household.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship the same way. How many times you want to do something that you really don't want to do, but you know what? The end result in this relationship is we are both going to be happy, because I know his goal is to try to make me happy, and I know my goal is to try to make him happy. So if that's the case, why are we fighting this, back and forth on how we gonna go about doing it?
But you know what? You know what, Keith? Though, when you first meet somebody and you're dating, if you're dating with a purpose, let me just put that out there. We ain't talking about people that just dating just to be dating. People that's out here just having fun. We're talking about people that is dating for a purpose. So, if you are not interested in being with someone who is not going to make you better, then you might as well move on. A woman that has a standard that will not allow you to, make her feel uncomfortable, as Sarah said, by, constantly talking about her body parts, what you can do to her and all that kind of stuff, you need to move on. You're not ready then for marriage. Now, unless you're going to marry another woman that is all for that, that's fine. But I probably guarantee you that probably won't go so well. But, but at the same time though, for a woman, if you don't go into dating with a mindset that you are already a wife, and I'm not talking about a civil union. Civil union and marriage is two different things. A wife submits to leadership, period. That's it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And a man leads. Both of them submit to God, but a wife is automatically submissive to her husband, not to him, to his role. It's submission one to another, and he submits to her role as his wife, as his helpmeet. They be leaving the second part out, but because that's all we hear is the word submit. And you automatically think it's for you to be his less than or his slave. Well, guess what? In the physical sense, you are less than. He's stronger than you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because he's designed to protect you, period. Now, also as a helpmeet, men say that you want a woman that's going to help you. You're dating a woman that has the means. She got the brain, she got the beauty, she has the wisdom, the knowledge, she got the resources, and even money. And when you get that woman, you you mess it up by doing stupid stuff, and then you want to hold her accountable or say that she's, tripping, or she should give you another chance, or whatever the case may be. I've been through that too many times. So here's the thing. Just like women ruin good men by demanding or coming with all of these expectations and entitlement spirit, men ruin good women too. Because for those of us who, let's say, overgive or give of ourselves, to men that aren't our husbands just because we want to see you do well. We want to see you prosper. When you do that, then when we meet the next man, we're not willing to go above and beyond. We're not willing to exhibit or put certain things on display for you during the dating phase. It's not so much because you're paying for somebody else's mistakes on either side, for men or women. It's a means of learning from your mistakes, learning what not to do, and understanding that you cannot give the right stuff to the wrong person, period. And so until you know that, then men have to be respectful enough to understand that you have to court a woman. If you want her to trust you, if you want her to respect you, if you want her to take you seriously, then you're going to have to court her.
I think
For women, it's the same thing.
I agree with you, Lady A, but I believe this. I believe more times than not, men want to court women. Let me explain. This goes back into our conversation we had right before the show came on. So this was going to be the subject of what I was going to speak to on my live. We talked about gender roles. Me and Lady J had this conversation earlier before the show. We were kind of talking about gender roles, and I said this. I made this statement, and I stand by it. And I know a lot of women ain't going to be popular for you all when I make this statement to you. And I think all the men are going to immediately understand exactly what I'm saying when I say it. I believe, and I can prove, that men, majority of men, love unconditionally more than women.
I want to know. Explain that to me.
Oh,
explain
hey,
it to me.
Before you,
all right, go ahead.
Before you say that, so that I can prove your point correct,
you
and I have never had a conversation about this. And the reason why I agree with you, because 9 times out of 10, a man that is wealthy could be a woman running to catch a bus or working at McDonald's, and he will still date that woman. The reason why I believe you when you say that is because women say a man to date me gotta have it's stipulations. So we are just like, you know what, boo, if you for me, I got you. Where you start losing us is, and you guys say this so much 100%, what you did to get me is what you got to do to keep me. But you guys are sometimes the biggest hypocrites of that statement, because you get comfortable and you say, well, if you got me, you got it. And again, this is not a blanket statement, but I guarantee you it's an 85%er that 85% of most women have forgotten what they did to get that man and to have his nose wide open. So at some point, I know
I agree,
because the stitches changed.
All right, so
I agree. I agree with what he just said. With what in your statement, along with DL's explanation, I agree with that for a lot of people. Now, I can't say that I fit that scenario, but I do agree. I do agree with that. I think for those of us who are raised in a certain time frame and under a certain tutelage, we don't have that mindset. And for somebody who has been violated so much, I should be like most women out here where all men are dogs, men get on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? Men ain't shit and all that other kind of stuff, but that's not my mindset, you know? So I agree with that. I agree with that to an extent, but there is also another side to that though. Again, like I said, men, you got to make it make sense. If you want someone that you're gonna, because I tell women all the time, if you treat a man well and you support him, you speak life into him, you help him, all of these things, then he'll give you the world. It's the same thing with a woman. If you treat her well, if you respect her, you know what I'm saying, if you love her and all the kind of stuff, you don't have to ask her for anything. She's gonna give you stuff without even asking. She'll break her neck, for you. It's vice versa. It's vice versa. And when we are in love with a man, our blinders are on. We don't see nobody else. Men are easily swayed.
No. This is the difference. The difference is this. You're right. A man is easily swayed. But the thing is, and this is the reason why I say we as men will, more times than not, we love unconditionally because of this. For a man to even have an opportunity with most women, all right? I got to put that out there because women will be on my head in a heartbeat because I just said women. So I got to say most women.
When we say women and men, people, we mean most or a good majority, okay?
Listen, come on, Lady J. How long we been doing this? Because it came out of my mouth. Because it came out of my mouth. They're going to be on my head. Even though they know damn well what I mean. But so I gotta be on point now. Most women, a man has to bring something to them. So that means your love is automatically coming with a condition. The condition is this: he has to provide something to me that I find tangible for me to give him the opportunity to love him. Where a man, the difference is this: I'm willing to figure it out with you right now, and you don't have to offer me nothing. And so I was having this conversation with a couple of ladies at work one day, and we was having this conversation, and I asked this question, and this is gonna make y'all ladies think too. I said, ladies, what is it does a man receive after he gets married that he wouldn't receive during the relationship? And honestly, nobody had an answer. So what I heard automatically was this: well, he gets love and respect. Well, don't he get that during the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're more submissive. Well, what are you more submissive during the relationship? Because that's the reason why he married you. That's the reason why he asked you for your hand in marriage. Because he understood, hey, she's displaying everything that I am looking for. So my questions, once again, was what is it that a man is going to now receive during the marriage that he didn't receive during a relationship? So women really couldn't come up with an answer. So I had one young lady reverse it to me. She said, well, what is it that a woman is receiving from a man when she gets married? I said, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is everything? I said, okay, so let's just take the divorce rate for a moment. I said, it's a statistic going out right now, like over 88% of the men who get divorced come out worse off than they did before they were married. 88%. So he knows there's an 88% chance if this thing don't work out, he's gonna come out worse off than not. He knows this. All right. Knowing this, he's still willing to get married to you. How many women will take that kind of calculated risk with a man?
Well, but here's the thing. Here's another thing that we have to stop doing. There's another thing that we have to stop doing because we have to stop pitting the one against the other. Too oftentimes we are trying to weigh who gives more, who sacrifices more. Because at the end of the day, a man sacrifices his money. Okay, a woman has to give up her name. She gives up her body. She gives up her leadership, her independence to become codependent, to become one with a man. She gives up a lot of things, and she goes through a whole lot of changes mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that things because she's carrying his seed and all of that. So you cannot equal. First of all, and I hate when women are always like, "Well, I'm his equal." No, you're not. We are not equal, period. We're not. We will never be equal. That's not the way God designed us to be. You are who you are in all of your feminine glory, and he is who he is in all of his masculine glory. I never want to be equal with a man. Okay, you get equal pay because y'all do the same job. That's one thing. But as a woman and as a man, you two are not equal. You ought to be okay with him having your back or you standing behind him. If you're walking down a dark alley, I would have rather my husband go before me than me being in the front. Okay? Because if somebody starts shooting or try to snatch me up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you want one or two steps? Bullet, huh?
1 or 2 steps is gone. But also for us in that manner, women are just as protective and territorial. Hey, Latricia, we are just as territorial, because if somebody was coming for our men or for our kids, we don't tear your head off. That's who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you say it, make a statement like that, it's still kind of like pitting the two against each other. We have to learn how to not just understand our differences, but to respect them as well.
But the reason I say it like that is this. This is my reason for saying it like this. We understand as men that in order to get a woman's attention, it has to be done with shock value. It has to be done with shock value. For the majority, once again, my disclaimer is for the majority. All right? We know and we understand as men that there are exceptions to the rule. Yep. So for the majority, this is not for the women who understand me and who gets it. This is for the ones who act lost and don't know, and they be like, "Well, I didn't know that." Girl, please, you knew. You knew.
But that statement right there was 100% true, because I think that's for all women. You got to give a shock value, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the next man that come into my life, that's shoot. You definitely gonna have to shock the hell out of me.
You know what? You know what, Lady J? Lady J, you say that, but God might say different. I will say this. I want black men and black women to stop living life as opponents and realize that we are teammates.
Listen, I'm glad you say that, because I say this all the time. This is a question I always ask. And Lady J will test this. We actually did a show on this twice. Mm-hmm. The show was this. This is the name of the title of the show. Why does it seem that black men and black women look at each other as
enemies?
Instead of looking at each other as adequate acquisitions, we look at each other as opposites. We look at each other as enemies. You know what I'm saying? Right. We don't look at each other as adequate equity. Like me personally,
I'm your ally, not your adversary.
That's
the first thing. And I think when we start to see each other in that light, the things that me and Keith are saying and the things that Sarah and Lady J are saying stop, and it ceases being offensive to the other gender that hears it, because you take yourself out of an opposition type of mindset, and now you're hearing so that we can come together. Second of all, men and women, you're right, they're not equal until a woman, which I bet not come home and see my wife standing up taking a pee. I bet not see it. As long as y'all can't stand up and pee, no, we're not equal. Yeah, we ain't equal.
And I bet not come home and see my husband giving birth either.
There you go.
On a period with a pad bleeding from his little wee.
So we got to recognize there are major differences. But I look at my wife as being a resource and not a sub, right?
Yeah.
So submissive means that I am going to admit or permit you to do some things that will enhance me and you.
Yeah.
If you put that sub to it, if you say sub, that means replacement, substitute teacher. That means submarine, mean you can go deep into the depths. So therefore, when you add that sub, you become the power seat. You become the resource. You become the advice giver. And you say this, I'm trusting my instinct that I accepted your hand. When you said God sent you to me, I accepted that. So my trust transcends you and it goes to the one you're following. So therefore now doubt is out the way. And I say, hey man, I got to trust that this dude was on point when he did this. He was on point when he did that. So he's got to be on point here. And if he fails to get it done, it was that not that he could not or wasn't adequate to do so, but it wasn't in the cards to do. But I think so many times that we look at each other to say, what we are to build communities, one household at a time.
Yep.
Baby girl, you smell good. I don't want you. I ain't thinking about you. I ain't studying you. But I see a sister that is walking in a place by herself. My wife could be sitting right next to me. Hey, baby girl, that hairstyle, it really fits your face. Because you know what I'm doing? I'm uplifting you.
You're uplifting her.
That single dude approach you. You ain't got this snarl on your face. You ain't got this chip on your shoulder. And a community built another community member. We got to stop talking about, well, if this and that. I hate to hear a woman, and I mean, I hate to hear a woman say, well, a real man, you don't know a real man if you did have so many of them suckers in your background. Yep. So therefore, quit telling a man what it is a man's supposed to do. Hush your mouth, fall back, and let him show you. I can say 1,003 words, but
I got one even more important. I got one even bigger than that one. Now that you done said it, I say this. If women checked women, they wouldn't have to check men.
Oh, they don't like that. Women don't like that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They don't like that. But I'll do it anyway. So, because here's the thing. So what you just said,
women, they would never have to check men.
That's right.
And here's a whole argument.
It does. It does. And I've said 50 million times before, even on the show with me and Keith. Women, stop coming to the table with demands and expectations and come to the table with offers. Your job is to be a helpmeet. Women who can't answer the question, well, what do you give when you become a wife? Or what is it that he's looking for in you while you're dating? What about you says that I'm a wife while he's trying to date you? Well, let me first of all, are you able to multiply?
That's the number.
You got to be able to multiply. If you're dating a man, if you want a man to date you, to court you, and take you seriously, are you able to multiply? Because everything he brings in, you're gonna have to be able to double that, triple that, or whatever. When he gives you a seed, you give him a child. When he buys you a house, you make it a home. When he provides the money.
When he go grocery shopping and bring on the food, you got to make the meal.
Yeah, I don't know why this keeps doing that. But when he brings home the food or gives you the money for the food, you make it into a meal. When he shares his dreams with you and what it is that he's trying to accomplish, you need to make sure that you got some resources. If he wants to start a trucking company, all right, babe, let me see. What kind of admin stuff do you need? What materials do you need? Because I'm about to go ahead and take these calls. I'm gonna go ahead and pitch you. I'm gonna set up the email. These are the things that you need to be able to bring to the table when he asks you. Now, a lot of y'all might be saying, for those of you who say ignorant stuff like, well, stop taking advice from people that ain't married. Well, guess what? Lady J has been married before. I'm probably one of the best ones you can take advice for, because at minimum, I can tell you what not to do. Don't enter into a relationship or a marriage when you're not emotionally and mentally stable. Because that was my thing. Looking for what I needed in another person. So you know what I mean? Listen, at the end of the day, if you don't have those things as a woman, you're not a wife. And it's not when he finds you, you're a girlfriend and then you become a wife. No, you need to already be a wife when he finds you, when he decides to approach you to date you. And you need to be paying attention when he's trying to date you, whether or not he's a leader.
So
yeah, go ahead.
So let's define the dating, right? Because I find that there's different variations to dating. What's dating to me is not dating to someone else or the next person. So let's explore that and define what that is.
All right. So the best thing I could say is, because I've talked about this, I actually want to write a book about it. And I have this thing called the dating process. And me personally, I believe the dating process, how I go by doing it and how I break it down, is a fail-safe for you not to get caught up with some clown that's not in your program. All right. Now, basically what the dating process is 4 stages. You have the get to know you phase. All right. That's where you're getting to know someone, you're having fun, you're trying to figure it out, who they are as a person. Unfortunately, this phase does not happen anymore as modern dating world. The reason why I say that is because all too often you don't get to know who it is that you're even dealing with. I had to get on one of my younger guys like a year or so ago. We was having this conversation and he was like, big homie, I met me one, she nice, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, like he talking about her like she the best thing ever. So I asked him, what's her name? He tells me her name. I said, what's her middle name? He's like, I don't know. Okay. Now, I don't expect you to know someone's middle name, but if you're gonna talk about them like they're the best thing on earth, that's the least you should know. Okay, well, I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide. All right, what she do for a living? Oh, she works at this place. Okay, that's cool. What is it that she does there though? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let that slide too. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide. All right, he was like, I was like, so did she come from a 2-parent household, a single parent household? I don't know. You need to ask more questions before she becomes the best thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I was like, yeah. I was like, because on the surface it looks good. I was like, but let me tell you something my grandmother told me years ago. Glitter shine like it's really nice, but it ain't worth shit.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dating is nothing more than a long.
Temptation says beauty's only skin deep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dating is nothing but a long interview process. Dating, right. you have to ask the right question. Stop asking stuff like, where do you work? How much money do you make? And what's your credit score? Okay, that stuff, yeah, that stuff, yeah, that's basic. But you need to understand, you need to get into that person's mind, their mindset, and understand who they are as a person. And yes, you do need to know their background, but don't automatically judge somebody by their background, because if you were to ask me about how my upbringing looks nothing like who I am. Nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, but you want to take that into account, because it does play a role in maybe some subtle flaws or, triggers or something that somebody may have because of their upbringing or past. And sometimes it takes the right person to come in to kind of shift that, you know what I'm saying, and help that along the way. So when you're dating, it's really just a long interview process. You are engaging in physical interaction, meaning like going places, you know what I'm saying, having a conversation. And you cannot date somebody via text. Okay, let me just say that. You cannot date somebody via text, inbox, or email. And if you are trying to talk to someone that will not tell you anything about themselves, that won't open up, it's really a no-go, because you can't, what are you gonna do? Because you know what I'm saying, you don't know anything about this person. They're not willing to open up. So then when you go from dating, once you establish that, okay, I like this person, I like the way they think, I've learned a little bit about them, I know what they do for a living, I know whether or not they believe in God or not, I know if they have a relationship, what kind of parent they are, who their parents is, all the good stuff. If you decide then that you want to continue seeing this person, or that man decides that he wants to now pursue you, then y'all move into maybe dating exclusively, and then that moves into a relationship, and then that moves into engagement, and then that moves into marriage. Yeah, so that's what it's supposed to look like. But oftentimes it's like, you look good, you look good, he look good. Oh, we go on a date. Oh, let's screw, and now we in a relationship. What?
Let's do that. What we doing, Lady J? Let's do what?
I think what's messed up about it is, like I said, all too often you don't know who it is that you actually date. Like, you don't know that person. You don't know what they spirit like. You don't know how they are as a person in general. You don't know. Like, this one, I had a young lady tell me this one time. She was like, how a man conducts his finances shows me how he conducts his woman. I said, no. Let me explain. Yeah. So I said, no. Let me explain something to you.
Not unless he's dating a stripper.
I said, because he know how to get money don't mean he know how to retain a woman. Because he knows how to get money does not mean he knows how to retain a woman. Because let me explain. I have a lot of friends who they all about money, and that's it. Women are luxuries to them. They're accessories. They really are. You're not important. The reason why you're not important is because he knows that he has options. And he knows he can take on any of his options at any given time. So what makes you so much more special than his other options? So he don't look at you as value. I told one lady this all the time. A lot of men who have money don't look at you as value. They look at you as
most men who have money feel.
Uh-oh.
I think I know what she's gonna say.
Yeah.
I think I
A
always
pastor treat you
understand.
any kind of way to cheat on you and stuff like that. Well, you living in this nice house, you got this nice car, don't you? You know what I'm saying? They feel like that's a pass. No, sir. Absolutely, the freak not. I think not.
So
So,
But the reason why it's a pass, hold on, I'm gonna tell you why it's a pass now. The reason why it's a pass now is because there's no such thing as the ideal of love anymore. I'm telling you
oh,
that right.
Goodness.
Listen, so you
but
know me.
everybody wants to be loved though. But
No,
everybody
no.
wants to be loved because if there was no idea, because here's the thing, then you
Mhm.
wouldn't have all these people walking around depressed and silent. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know what?
Because they lack that, and that's why most people need attention, 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 attention. You know what I'm saying?
But
Listen
no,
all the
no,
time.
You know what? I'm gonna say this, and it
the
might
problem
sound
is,
funny because I'm a comedian, right? But I'm trying to be as serious as I can be. Um, I think when that young lady said that, I think a lot of people miss the conversation dictates what the intentions are. Um, whether it be initially, and then people change. Even once you start dating, you know, somebody can play a role, but so long. So you got to see if
Mhm.
the conversation is starting to switch up, if the behaviors is starting to switch up. Because once people sometimes feel as though they have their hooks in you, they feel like they can treat you any kind of way. I think some of the
Mhm.
questions we need to ask initially is, who is your people? What's your mama's name? What, like when you said that young brother didn't know her middle name, he should have known her middle name by the second conversation. What's your daddy's name? What's your mama's name? Where your people from? Because I'm trying to make sure, first of all, that you and I are not kin. We're living in a generation where Papa was a
absolutely.
Rolling Stone a whole lot.
Mhm.
Then after that, are your parents kin to each other? Is there a history of mental illness in your family that's irreversible? Those are the questions that, if you're serious, I want to know about your family background. I want to know, have you ever been evicted? How many times have your lights been cut off in a year? That lets me know. It sounds funny, but it lets me know your habits. It lets me know
Mhm.
what you put as priority. You know, like, do you have any children? You do. And then I'm looking in your Instagram post, I'm looking at your Facebook post, and I see you always in the club with your girl. Who watching your babies? So
Mhm.
if I happen to lay down with you and procreate with you, then who gonna be watching my baby? Am I gonna just have to pick up my kid and leave your kids at the house by themselves, or am I gonna have to have all three of the children? You know, those are questions that I think that if you serious, you start putting, you know, like what residence do you want to live? Do you plan on living in this city long? You know, how long have you been at your job? How long do you plan on being at that job?
Mm.
Mhm.
How
I
long have you
think some of the questions. I think some of the questions just so, we can shift a little bit and start giving tips. So we're already talking about the things to look for in dating, but for me, and I'm gonna say one of the worst things that you can do with a woman when you are dating or trying to talk to her is be inconsistent.
Oh,
Listen, that will get you dismissed
two-way
like
street?
immediately,
That's a two-way
immediately.
street.
Because no, here's the thing: when you are not 9 times out of 10, a man is approaching a woman.
mm-hmm.
If she has not fully accepted, you as far as wanting to date you, but she's just allowing you to interact with her, consistency is key. That's gonna win her over. That's gonna help her do that. We're not the ones that are approaching you. If you
Serious
approach
question.
me, if you
Serious.
approach me, and so let me give you an example. I had a guy approach me, and first of all, talking about, oh, I had a dream. God told me you was my wife, sir. I don't know how many people you didn't use that on, but okay, whatever. He ain't told me that, but all right. Then proceed to ask me out on a date. Now, I have not dated in over 2 years. Even when I was in a relationship, we weren't dating like that. If I wasn't planning the date, wasn't no date. 9 times out of 10. Okay. So, and I'm a person who likes to interact with the person that I'm with or the person that I'm saying that I'm trying to get to know. You ask me out on a date. Now, mind you, people out here who know who I am and what I do. I don't have time to waste. Okay. So if I agree to something, that means I have literally carved out time. I even have to carve out nap time for me. Okay. Because of my condition, literally. Dio laughing because he knows I'm for real, so serious. I literally have to carve out nap time. So if I say yes to you, and then you proceed to text me 10 minutes before the date is supposed to start while I'm already on my way out, text, not call, and tell me that, oh, you're gonna have to reschedule, not giving a valid reason at all. And then you never then even pick up the phone to say, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, or let's reschedule, none of that. And then you proceed to try to inbox and text me. I'm not about to give you the time of day. If you call me and say that you're interested in me, and we've been texting or talking on the phone, and several days go by, and I may say, hey, good morning, how you doing, and hope your day goes well, and you never respond 24, 48 hours later, I'm not going to take you seriously. Be consistent in all of your ways. Okay?
I agree.
That's a tip for men. That's a tip for men. Be consistent.
Here's another tip for men. This is what I've learned. Men, you do need to be consistent. I pride myself on consistency. But another thing you need to do is, once you get into an exclusive dating situation with a woman, you need to monitor your time with that woman. Make sure you're not spending too much time with her. I say this because all too often, men will be distracted by the woman that they want, and they will no longer pursue their purpose. And if you're not pursuing your purpose, that woman will eventually get bored with you and not find you as valuable because you are spending too much time with her.
Hold on, but that goes back to her being a helpmate, because when she see you getting off track, and let me tell you this, I have been in a relationship, I'm not going to say with who, but when I was in a relationship with somebody, men, you want somebody to keep you on track with your purpose, but when we say, hey, have you done, hey, don't forget you have to do, or hey, are you still working on, are you still working on, and then you don't get a response, or no, I'll get to it, whatever. And then we turn into that, for those of us who are serious about the man and women, we turn into that, personal trainer type. Hey, come on, let's go, get up, you gotta get it. Now you feel some type of way now because you think when you talk to me like that, I'm not gonna want to do it.
No, see, that's
so you're not interested in having a woman that's gonna keep you on track and that's going to be looking at as controlling.
That's a man that's not interested in his purpose. That's true.
I agree.
Because a man who's interested in his purpose, when a woman motivates him to be on his purpose, that's when he knows. I'm telling you, a man knows at that point in time, listen, the woman I'm rolling with right now is of value. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. It ain't often nowadays that you find a woman who's willing to build with you. A lot of women nowadays, they want a
ready-made man.
I want to inherit. They don't want to build. They want to inherit. That's why he needs to make 6 figures. That's why he needs to be 6 feet tall. That's why he needs to have 6 inches or more. That's why he needs to be able to do all these things. Because they would just want to inherit.
Mm-hmm. Now, and shame on women like that, because you ain't helping them get there.
Right. That's why I made the point earlier that men who got it already, you are an option. You're not important to him. You are an accessory. That's what you. Gilbert Arenas. This is what's even funnier. Gilbert Arenas. I just saw this video yesterday. He has a video out where a woman asked him, "Why aren't you married?" And he said, "To be honest with you, it's cheaper to do what I'm doing. I could go spend $200-300 and have a great night with somebody." Mm-hmm. He said it's cheaper for me to do that because y'all want to go to Cabo. He's like, y'all want to do this, y'all want to do that. He said women are never content with just one thing. He said they consistently want to get more, and it's the truth. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Before I say that, ain't nothing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. But when you Gilbert Arenas and you made over $100 million in your career, you don't need too much more than nothing.
Well, that's only until you get sick and you need somebody to nurse you back to health, or when you are crippled, or you something happens to you and now you need somebody to run your business. See, men do not take into account that. And let me just say that because I've been there. I've had to take care of somebody. I had to wipe somebody's tail and do everything for them. That's okay until you get to that point, because now she's the one that's the breadwinner. She's the one that's paying the bill. She's the one that's taking care of you and kids. Men don't think about stuff like that, especially for those of you who are out here doing hard labor or are in industries where you are constantly putting your life on the line for other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. But that to me, I think that comes with that whole character thing that we were talking about earlier. You have to know who it is that you're dealing with. And that's why I say it all too often. The reason why so many failed relationships happens is unrealistic expectations, and you're not really getting to know who it is that you're dealing with. Those are
I
two relationships. You didn't take enough time to figure out who you're dealing with, and your
Mhm.
expectations are totally unreal. And so often, and I say it more for women than men, because men, I don't believe we have two. There's not too many men out here in the world that have unrealistic expectations. There's just not. I'm just being honest with it. All right, more women than men have unrealistic expectations.
I
Example,
agree with that. I definitely
right?
agree.
Example. You will have. I hear this all the time. There's a shortage of good men. I hear that all the time. There's a shortage of good men. Okay, ladies, if there's such a shortage of good men, who's raising these men who ain't shit?
the 30-year-old. Oh, sorry.
That's true. That is very true.
Or
Absolutely
Single
right.
moms or dads that ain't worth the crap.
the
That's the
Absolutely.
grandmamas.
So,
and
so
not only that, women. A lot of those women are, and this is just being fact, because these things that we don't talk about enough, especially among the African American community. A lot of
Right.
those women are emotionally damaged, and they take out their anger on their sons or on their grandsons or nephews or whoever,
mhm,
and they forget that their words that they speak about men
yep,
also include those sons and those grandsons and those nephews. And
yep,
so when that is exactly what you're pouring into them, which is why
yeah.
it's very important for you to get yourself together.
And
Man, I
this,
saw a real crazy meme about 6 years ago. It was a picture. It was a little cartoon meme. You know how they draw the little cartoon figures, and it was a lady at a table with her daughter and her son, and the mother cartoon said, "Lord, I don't need a man."
yep.
The
I know.
daughter said, "Lord, I don't want a man." And
I
then the
saw
little
that.
boy
Yeah.
cartoon said, "Lord, I don't want to be a man." And if you
Hmm.
look nowadays, that's exactly how it is. That
Listen, that's
have
exactly what I was gonna go
men,
through.
a lot of good men became, and I noticed I said a lot of, but a lot of good men became deadbeat fathers because the mother stripped them of their parental rights because it was no longer about the mother. It was
Yep.
all about the kid. So I'm gonna show you if you're gonna be a deadbeat, like there could be, just because a man is a dog, as a man, as a husband, as a boyfriend, don't mean he's a deadbeat dad. It just means he wasn't no good to you and for you, but he could be
Hmm.
everything to that boy. He could be everything to that daughter. So you have to have enough about yourself as in womanhood to remove yourself out the way from a man that's trying, hear what I said, that's trying to be a father to his child. You don't get the chance to
Hmm.
dictate how much money is spent when they're out together because it's a bonding. You just sit back and wait on him to bring his child home. And I think in relationships, a red flag, brothers, if a woman is always talking bad about the man that was before you, it's only a amount of time before you're going to join that list of her saying that you ain't about nothing either.
Yep.
Hmm. And so for women, what do you all think that women should be doing when dating? Because like I said, let me just say that there's a reason why I don't date, because I'm sorry, this dating pool out here sucks.
Well, wait a
It
minute. I want to
sucks.
say something before we shift, though. I want to say
Hmm.
something before we shift, though, because I had a little suggestion for the
Hmm.
men, and I want to say go back to the basics. There's nothing wrong with going back to the basics. Like, don't just limit yourself to text message conversations. Pick up the phone and actually have a phone conversation with the woman. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that to me is
That's a
where the
really
beginning of the bonding starts, in my
that's a
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
really
You know, text messages is okay for some things, but when you
Mm-hmm.
really are interested in getting to know someone, right? That
Mm-hmm.
phone conversation is everything. And then when you meet in person, you know, if you have a good vibe over the phone, you have even a better vibe, I would hope, in person.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Even
and you
video
can,
call.
yeah, and you can continue to build from there. So go back
Mm-hmm.
to the basics. Keep this simple. Be flexible. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I listen. This sister right here, I just want you to show up and be consistent, be respectful. Don't send me any male organ pics because that's overrated. And you know, be about your business. That's my advice.
I just think all too often, but like I said, I hear what you're saying, but women, you all set the tone. You set the tone. Hold on for a second.
Well, you got to remember that we're the exception to a lot of things.
Right.
Those of us who have lived life and experienced the worst of men, we we not taking no BS. Like we're not those women, so we're not the majority. And so
but
because we're not the majority, we still get the leftovers of all of the ones that took the BS. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want that. That ain't what we want. That's not what we want. So unfortunately, that's why a lot of us are single because again, when you approach us the same way that you've been doing, and we're number 11 out of 15 maybe, and the 9 before us said yes or okay, and they was with the with the ish, then you know what I'm saying, that's all we get, unfortunately. Or if the man that we want is either usually taken or is not interested.
because
Yeah.
y'all waited
That's
too
just
long.
it.
Y'all waited too long to say yeah for one. But let me say this, ladies. Remember that a man just wants to be loved, needed, depended on to get a love he can't give when he gone. Yeah, that's a song lyric, but that song lyric, Sarah, it went back to basics. If you really, really digging a dude, you gonna love on that dude.
Hmm.
When you
Mm-hmm.
really, really feeling a dude, you gonna make that dude feel needed out of the way you love him. When you
Hmm.
really, really, really digging a dude, you gonna depend on him because you're gonna trust the fact that you loved him and depended on him that he's not gonna let you down. So how can we do that if we not around? We gotta realize that when you get into a relationship says that I'm beyond the short term thinking of dating. Now this is extended. This is the extended warranty. Now the lifetime warranty is marriage. But once you get to the extended warranty, you should be preparing for the lifetime warranty. So that's when them hard conversations come out, like Lady J said. Hey, look, man, if I fall down with rheumatoid arthritis and I can't get up and walk, man, you gonna help me in and out this tub? Or are you at least gonna hire a nurse to do it? You gonna leave me sitting around in my stool waiting on somebody to come home all day long and I got balls and stuff? I'm sitting in this pamper, sitting around 2 or 3 hours in my own waist. I mean, them are questions that need to be had. It ain't always about what kind of lingerie you got on. Let me see what the mouth do. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
eat it like all that stuff, man. That's fine. All right. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
ooh. You make me feel good. You make me feel hot. But when I'm hungry, do you have some skills to go in there and pull that skillet out and fix me up something that's gonna stop my stomach from growling? So
Mm-hmm.
we need to go back, like she said, to the rudiments, get to loving on each other, stop seeing each other as opponents and enemies, and stop making excuses. Men aren't dogs. They just did what you trained them was cool to do. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden you got mature in your thinking. You got mature in your thinking, and then you say, I don't like this no more. Well, guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to retrain that man that you trained that when you were in your immature state was cool. So you're gonna have to give him time to catch up to your maturity and teach him how to now treat the new mature you.
I'm 51. If I'm dating a man that's 55, 60, should he know?
He should,
It
but I'm
sounds
just saying
good.
it depends on what he
Sounds
came
good.
across.
Girl, what you were you right?
It sounds good. Listen, it sounds, but like I said, honestly,
Oh,
the real reason why he
why
don't
y'all work
know is
so hard? We already
look,
old.
look, the real reason why he don't know is because too many women allow women to have bad behavior, and he found the bad behavior. Y'all allowed the bad behavior. You think about it. Listen, we've seen Lady J have seen this plenty of times on my Facebook page. I will post something about a woman's bad behavior, and all of a sudden, women will jump to that woman's defense as if she's not having bad behavior. Not enough women will hop on and correct that woman's behavior. They'll just protect me. They'll protect because a man said it. Now I will turn around and do this. I'm feeling Kanye. I'll shoot her a text. I'll shoot her a text or inbox, and I'll send her whatever I was going to post. I'm like, hey, post this on my page. She'll post it on my page, and normally the women that will come chirping, they be silent. They won't say nothing. And the reason why is because a woman posted.
Yep.
But I say that every time a man says that or does that, because women do that, I say keep posting it. Because here's the thing, I teach just like I teach my mentees or women also as well, my youth mentees and women as well. It doesn't matter whether or not a person receives it in front of you or not. They can never say they didn't know or they didn't hear it. You've already planted the seed. Somebody else may come along and cultivate it. So don't shut up. You still need to plant the seed. Because here's the thing, not everybody is in a place where they can receive conviction. Because here's the thing, conviction is necessary because it brings about change. If you don't feel conviction is supposed to sting. It's supposed to hurt because it's supposed to move you into something else. Period. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Let me catch that out of you because you just led right into what I was gonna say to answering Sarah's question. Like at 51, if you dating a 55-year-old man, shouldn't he know, right? But it's the same reason why you got so many professional, mature women that's got it together now that is afraid of that Freaknik documentary that's about to come out. Because when they were back in, when they was back in and they was all in and everybody was checking for them, hey, I'm out here living my life. You know, hey, look, I got variety. I got the choice to pick from. Then you start getting older and you realize, hey, man, certain things that I was chasing, man, it led me down this spiral. When that dude right there that everybody was laughing at, that was the best thing for me. Let me get myself in a space where I can start being around and be more appealing to those kind of dudes. Well, maybe that 51-year-old man hasn't been around enough women that have appealed to something to maturing, but all of a sudden now at 51, he's like, hey, I need to be in around more women like Sarah so I can learn how to attract women like that.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, DL and Sarah, y'all listen, another aspect of dating or people, all of these people who are single that want to be married is a lot of people are judging books by the cover. So we know that women will date. I'm more attracted to big guys than I am young. Hey, I done dated all kind of women.
We gotta judge.
I already know what you got to say, DL.
Yeah, I already know what you got to say. Now. Everything that look like the cover ain't the cover now. We got to do that now.
But here's the thing. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to women and men that are dating, or trying to date or be in relationships, women will fall in love with a man whether he's 300 pounds and tall, well proportioned, or he's 175 pounds. Both, like my ex-husband, he was, he's overweight, but personality is what a lot of us who are mature, those of us who are not shallow, those of us who are mature, and we're more attracted to personality and how a person treats us and things of that sort. But for men, but for men, they want a woman that's 26, 25, 36, 26, and They are 400 pounds. You know what I'm saying, sir?
You got it backwards. You got it backwards, Lady J.
Go ahead.
You got it backwards, because I'm gonna tell you something.
What? Hold on. What you say?
As cockeyed as Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G. was, when he was broke, he couldn't get a chick. As soon as he got some money, he was able to pull whatever he want.
I'm not talking. I didn't say all women. I'm talking about for those of us women who are looking for those of us who are mature and looking for
majority. So that's why I said y'all not the majority, because you look at Jay-Z. When Jay-Z wasn't rich, when he was Hawaiian Soaky fame, wasn't nobody checking for Jay-Z till Jay-Z's bank account got up.
But I just said those women, those of us who aren't shallow, those are shallow women. Right. Women who go after men with money are shallow.
The part I'm challenging is when you said for a man, y'all have to be Coke bottles. No, ma'am. A man can see a woman, and if she cute, she smell good, and she cool. Hear me out. A man want to be around a woman that is cool. When we say low maintenance, we mean low stress. We don't want.
So you mean to tell me that most men will date a woman that's, let's say, I'm not talking about like sloppy overweight, but heavy, a BBW woman. You know what I'm saying? Because no, they not. Now they'll talk to them, and some men some men will hide the fact that they like BBWs.
In what generation are you dating in now? Because as far as
I'm not dating, I'm just talking about in general.
All my life, I've heard men say, "Don't nobody want a bone but a dog." All my life, I've heard that.
I'm gonna say this. I like bones. Me personally, I've always liked petite women with curves. I always like athletic women with curves. That's just me.
But if you,
I've always been petite, with the exception of the last couple of years.
A lot of athletic women may have curves, but they may not be little. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at the WNBA. Man, some of them women are 6'4" or taller and about 215 pounds. But if you look at them, you would never guess it. But that's a whole nother show as far as
true enough. Yeah. But no, my women are small. Like, for the most part, my women have been small. Example, the last woman I dated, she was 5'2", 115. You know what I'm saying?
Preference is preference. But right. Here's the thing. If you want different, here's the thing. If they say that doing the same thing over and over is insanity, right? Expecting a different result. So here's the thing. Women we actually venture out more than men. That's a fact. When it comes to
See, God didn't want to hear that. God didn't want to hear that. He didn't want that out there. He stopped you.
And then we're not. Most women will venture out.
I don't want to hear that.
No, hold on. I do believe this. I believe men venture out. The difference is this, though, because I even say myself, especially the older we get as men, will venture out. Example, like I said, I kind of have a type, but I have stepped out of my type more than enough times in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I hit 30, it was kind of like free game. Like, yo, you know what? I like this now, too. I like a little thicker of a woman now, too. Wait a minute. Let me check this over here. Let me check it. Now, I do have a weight limit to my ride. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time,
I'm gonna tell y'all some things about thick women off air.
There's a temperature room. But I will say this too with men. Now, men, we will do this. There's a lot of women that look good to the eye, but we don't want to keep them because it's too much to have all the time.
But those are also the women that men will cheat on a good woman with.
Hold on, and it goes back to what I said. The low stress maintenance. Sometimes the yipping and the yapping can cause a dude to go and seek refuge rather than attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this about a bigger size woman towards a smaller size woman. A lot of times men went after smaller women simply because of the confidence aspect. A lot of women thought, well, he just gonna like her because she's smaller, and that could be a turnoff to a guy. But when you get a woman that know she holding. I don't care her size, how she dressed, how she smell, how she walk in the room, how she cut that eye, how she bite the side of that lip, she smile. That don't come in size.
Yep, that's all right. You're right.
Confidence. So a lot of times smaller women will get up and twirl and get up where bigger women be like, look at her, look at her. You see it on Instagram and Facebook posts. A lot of women, you can tell their confidence level by how far that picture goes.
But let's be clear. Nowadays, BBWs are busting up the game with this confidence, and smaller women don't like it. Smaller women don't like it, which is why a lot of men are not being open about liking BBWs. Because here's the thing: the only difference between the two is the size and possibly the way the woman treats you. Because here's the thing: you can be with a woman that's a $125, $150, whatever, and you can be with a woman that's $225 or whatever. But if this woman over here that's $225 if this woman over here $225 is bringing you peace, and I didn't even talk about her height because she has to be well proportioned. If she's taller, then that $225 is gonna be. But here's the thing: sometimes you can't even tell the woman is a certain weight by the way she carries herself, whether she's short, tall, or whatever. But what I'm saying is that this woman over here is bringing you peace and she got your back and she's helping you with everything. A lot of men will still be looking over here and go have to test the waters, even though he over here, because this woman over here is always yapping and trying to tear this woman down, talking about she's prettier, she's better. And let's be honest, you can have a body, but your face can be. Lord, that's not nice. You know,
learn how to hula hoop, ladies. Learn how to hula hoop.
Now, see, wait, Sarah. Now, see, remember when I went to say y'all teach us how to treat y'all? Now, when you get shaka, now what's the first thing our mind gonna go to? It's gonna leave that face. It's gonna leave that mind. It's gonna go to them hips. And we're gonna be like, what them hips do?
But let's not act like sex is a big part too of relationship, of marriage. Because here's the thing: a lot of men, y'all go marry these women, and then you marry them, and now you're getting less sex, which is stupid to me.
Well,
but
that ain't our fault. You act like we gonna go to the altar and say, now, will you take this woman's hand for better, for worse, for lack of sex than you had before you were married? Say, you know we ain't doing that. That's a stitch.
But I'm just saying. That's a complaint by a lot of men. That's a complaint from a lot of men.
It goes back to what Keith said. We unconditionally said, we love you, we trust you. When we get into that, we had no idea y'all was gonna pull the rug from up under us and be like, you know what? No, you can't have no cookie now. No, we didn't know that. We didn't know. If y'all had said, when we get married, if you do something I don't like, I'm gonna take away your snack. 9 times out of 10, we say, you know what? I'm gonna go down the road. You ain't the one for me.
I always say this: you can tell when someone is. You can tell, how much somebody really care about you and down for you based on how they treat you when they ain't happy with you.
Yep.
I'm a firm proponent of that one. Like, cause I'm like, I look at it like this. I know me. If I ain't happy with you, whatever it is that I'm doing for you, or I've been doing for you, I'm gonna continue to do it.
That's right.
My reason being is because I look at it like this: I ain't finna switch up me. I ain't about to do that. I ain't finna switch up me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be regardless. Now, if based on how happy you are with me at the moment dictates how you gonna treat me, then you ain't it.
You ain't it.
And I will agree with that, because a lot of women, I know some women too that won't cook, won't clean. Like, I'm not that person. I'm mad, but I'm still make sure you eat. You going out the house, to work, I'm gonna still make sure your lunch is, taken care of. We might be, at odds at the moment, but I mean, your necessities, the basic stuff, of course, you're still gonna do, or you should do, I should say. And again, that's the difference between somebody that's mature and somebody that's not.
Ladies, when you are mad at your man, give him some anyway. That's what stops us from getting mad. Even if you had to give him some, roll over and go to sleep. Don't sing your man out the house loaded. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So last but not least, how many people would you say that during the dating phase that women and men should date multiple people or be talking to, need to know multiple people at the same time?
for myself, I look at it like this. I am a firm believer of it's all depending on what it is that you're looking for out of dating, because we all date for different purposes. So like for me, once I put myself back on the market, it's always I am dating for a purpose to find just one individual. I don't need to be having four. First of all, I ain't got the patience to deal with 4 or 5 different people. I just don't.
Shoot, me either.
I ain't got the patience. I ain't got patience for one person, let
Oh,
alone
Lord.
3 other folks. But see, also, I'm way more considerate in my ideal of why I'm dating. I look at it like this: how many children do you have? How many fathers do they have? Because you got to deal with those personalities at some point. If I'm thinking about being with you long term, I got to think about, I have a son, he's 18 now. And I got to think about how many children you have. Okay. Because I have to interact with those kids at some point. My son's going to have to interact with those children at some point.
Yep.
Also,
now, when it comes to dating people with kids, though, here's my take, because I've done this before. So I have children, and they're older now. I got 19, 18, 15, and 13. So my kids have 2 of them grown. Two of them in college. They out, and but when I'm dating somebody and they have kids, my kids are they're real sociable. So they click, what I'm saying? They cool. And if I develop a relationship with somebody's kid, like a close relationship, and then when we break up, now I'm no longer able to talk to that kid because you mad or I left you, whatever the case may be, that ticks me off. So what I started doing was, if I'm dating somebody with kids, I'll still interact with the kids, but I won't develop a relationship where it's super close, because if I don't see this going towards marriage, or we've been dating for a while and you're not, I had men get offended because I would not enter into a like super close relationship, with their kids. So they, okay, well, I mean, are we getting married or what? Because I'm thinking about how that affects those children too, because one of the men that I dated, the mother was not in the picture. So I was mama. And that's what I do on a daily basis. I work with at-risk youth who call me Mama J. And so they know they can call on me. So what happens now when you leave and that child is no longer able to interact with me or call me when they need something or whatever? You know what I mean? That's not cool. That ain't cool.
Look, I blame that on I blame that on 2 individuals, the adult. I don't blame that on nothing but nobody else. I say this because I say this. Me as a man, like if I'm dating a woman who with children, I want to be involved with that child at some point, because I feel as me as a man, I have something to offer that young man or that young lady. I have something to offer. I don't care if they father in the picture all the time anyway. Cool. I look at it like this. My son has a stepfather. Obviously, my son loves his stepfather, and he's been in my son's life since he was 4. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Like one day, one of my boys is like they overheard him say dad to his stepfather. He's like, you ain't got a problem with that? Why should I have a problem with that? I'm secure with my son. I ain't got a problem with that. I'm happy about it. Now he got 2 men in his life they can count on.
Exactly.
I mean, he even got 1.
Right.
He got 2.
I agree. I agree with that. But do y'all? What do you all think about dating people with kids and not? Because for me, I'm always looking for a way to do better, and I can't dictate what that parent does. That's their child, so I can't tell them, oh, you got to let me see them, or you got to let me talk to them, or you know what I'm saying. So I had to keep myself at bay just to interact with them. You know what I'm saying? Take them places, all kind of stuff. But you know what I'm saying? But not treat. Go ahead.
I've done it. To go back to your original question, as far as dating multiple people, I think a lot of times, because I've done it both and I've done it with a purpose. And when I was dating multiple, I was just having fun. I didn't want to be tied down. I didn't want to be settled. I didn't want to be in nothing serious. And each woman knew that. Hey, look, I'm just having fun for what it is. If I'm free, you free. Let's go get a meal. Let's go watch a movie. Let's hang out. And if you see me out, I see you out. There's no trip, because I haven't made up my mind. Now, you meet a woman that you say, hey, I don't want to see her with nobody else. You know that you have an intent to be with that woman. So it's all in how you see a woman or a man and how you vibe. Now to answer your question about dating a person with kids, I've dated a woman that had a son that the dad never saw him. I came into the life when that child was 1. Matter of fact, it was a week before his first birthday, and I adopted that young man. That's my son. So to this day, I'm daddy. It ain't no other. He don't even know his biological. He'll never know his biological because his biological is deceased based off of the lifestyle that he wanted to live. So I was very calculated. I was very, very cautious with how I interacted in the beginning because I figured that I would be impressionable as a man, influential in this young brother. So if I didn't have intentions for his mama that was solid, then I didn't want to jack up his emotions and then it'd be gone. And I got 2 people with tore up feelings. Now his mother wound up becoming my first wife. And, you know, like I said, I wound up adopting that young man.
I don't think that for me personally, I couldn't date multiple people. That's too much going on. I don't have time. It's stressful. That's kind of, to me, that's the equivalent of you pretending to be somebody that you're not, like people dating with a representative. That's doing too much. I can only focus on one person.
Now,
So,
we dating or are we in a relationship?
Even dating.
just dating. I mean, even just dating. Like I've never dated multiple people. Now what I have done is, so let's say that in a week's time, maybe 10 men have reached out to me. Based on the first 5 minutes of conversation of what they say, I be eliminating people because I can already tell, like, no, you know, and I may narrow it down to one person. Okay, I'll get to know this person a little bit. See what they're about.
Dating? Isn't that online dating?
Online dating is terrible.
Online dating, no. I said when they reach out to me, if 10 men, for instance, inbox me today, and I said, you know, hey, Lady J, I think you're beautiful, or I looked at you, okay, and I say, okay, how can I help you? And they go on into whatever, because that's what I do. How can I help you? and they go into their, you know, asking or saying something. I can tell within those first few sentences whether or not you're somebody I'm going to want to date or talk to. And so I keep it moving. So now I narrowed it down to maybe 1 or 2 people that I may like. Now, based on whatever the next conversation is, then I'm, you know, process of elimination, if you will. So I think that for me, because a lot of women and men will date multiple people. They go on dates. They'll go out with Johnny on Monday night, and Jimmy asked to take them out on a date on Wednesday night, and you know Freddie asked them to go on a date on Thursday night. So I can't do that.
I've done that. I have done that.
Me personally,
but I've had a great time with it. However, I have to say it's a lot of work. And
it ain't for everybody, is it, Sarah? It ain't for everybody.
Pimping ain't easy, baby. Let me tell you.
I used to do that when I was younger. I used to do that. I had one leaving and one coming. But now
I'm in a
look at that smile. Look at that smile on her face. You can tell that. Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
But now I'm at a stage in my life now where I have my career, you know, my kids are older, you know, my son is a senior in high school, you know, everybody's growing up. And so now I'm looking for more stability in a relationship now. You know what I mean? But for a while there,
yeah.
Life
when your birthday, Sarah?
Life was grand.
When your birthday, Sarah?
September 24th.
Okay. Yeah. See, mine is November 24th. 71?
Yes, baby.
See, we didn't breathe. Right, we didn't breathe. We didn't breathe.
I never had the patience for women at the same time. Like my thing is, I've always been a dude who knew what he wanted. I know what I like. I stay in my lane. I don't veer out of it. I've always known it. You know what I'm saying? So I never had the desire to want to, you know, juggle women around. And don't get me wrong. I've had my fair share of times where I've dated. You know, like college was it for me. That was the one. Like, you know, when you're in college, you just, you know, you can't be tied down. But even in college, I had a long-term girlfriend. I like while I was sitting there. It wasn't until she, you know, decided to move to Florida. I knew I couldn't do the long distance thing, and then I got a little reckless. It was like, you know what? I done had a woman for 2 years. I'm out here now. I'm in the streets. I was in the, hey, somebody had to pull me back from the streets though. Said, hey, you wilding too much, dog. Come on back.
What part of Florida? What part of Florida?
She moved to Tallahassee. She went to Florida State for the
Oh yeah.
She went to Florida State for law school. I couldn't do it, you know.
See, and I'm the type of woman too that will eliminate myself. If I know that a man who's interested in me is dating other women, I'm gonna automatically eliminate myself because here's the thing. It ain't got nothing to do with my responsibility. Because here's the thing. I'm not in competition with nobody but myself. This ain't no competition. So here's the thing. If you and for me personally, I am the type of person that I really only deal with, even in friendships and business, I only deal with people that are like-minded. If you are an individual that can juggle 50 million people, I'm at a place now. I used to do that. Yes. I used to have multiple boyfriends. Yes, I used to do that. But now I don't do that anymore. So that's not my mindset. And I'm not in the same.
Yeah. God didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear that.
I'm not emotionally and mentally in that place anymore. So if I see you out here, if you're texting me and texting other women, if you inboxing me, inboxing other women, if you calling me and calling other women, getting another, we're not in no relationship, so I'm not mad. I'm just automatically going to remove myself from the equation though, so you can go out here and do your thing. Because to me,
that's why they lie, Lady J.
But here's the thing. The lying always comes to the light, especially if you connected to the God. You can't get nothing over somebody that talks to God a lot, because you're gonna be found out. Here's the thing. And they will. And once you lie to me, that's it. Ain't no more talking.
But I wasn't lying. I just, I was confused.
Well, you're gonna be confused over there somewhere, and that's just me personally. I just can't. That's my mindset.
My thing is
it safe to say? Shout out to the guy that was saying he heard the Lord say, "Jump in your inbox." It just didn't work. That wasn't Jesus he heard. That wasn't the Lord. That wasn't the Lord talking to you.
I kid you not. I've had men literally send me a prayer. My Lady J, I'm praying for you, and I just pray God bless you, and like that. You're so beautiful. You deserve. You know what I'm saying? They use God as a wingman, or they'll quote scripture and call you sister and. Sister Jacque and all this other kind of stuff, and then the conversation go another way, and I'm looking like, are you serious? Like,
God is a wingman.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that doesn't make sense.
Bless her to understand what I'm saying. This shit is so sexy, Jesus. I just want you to understand, Lord, that I'm trying to hold it in. These loins right here, Lord, Jesus.
Listen, if you pay attention. If people really pay attention to the way people interact with others and online, you should be able to tell when somebody's spirit resonates real and fake. So if you come into my inbox with that, you should know by now, okay, that I'm gonna see through all of that, sir. Be blessed and have a good day, okay? Because no, and no, and no.
I'm with you on that, Lady J. I can't be out here messing with somebody who entertaining 4 or 5 other dudes. My thing is, I look at it like this. It ain't about a competition thing for me. It's just I look at it as how can you make a educated decision on who it is that you're gonna deal with when you juggling 3 to 5 different personalities. And
it's just like time management too. Because you're going to drop the ball somewhere. Somebody's not going to get a certain amount of attention for you to really get to know them, because you out here trying to talk to 5 or 6 different people.
Yeah. I know what I like. I know why I like what I like. I know what I want to be to somebody. And I could tell within 2 conversations if I need to pursue it or not.
Same thing I said.
I'm always stuck with messing with the wrong ones, because I will hear the Lord say, "Leave it alone," but I'll be like, "Oh, man. Just one more time,
Not one more time."
Listen. I don't know.
I'm that
This
one y'all
is
gonna see in the Freaknik video with the hoodie on. So that dude that be sitting with the hoodie on.
Hey,
but listen, this has been a great conversation tonight, y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So first and third Thursday of the month. This has been a good conversation, because here's the thing, like I said, you see the memes all over social media, talking about the dating pool having pee in it and stuff. And I'm here to tell y'all, I'm over here in my little corner in the spa chilling, because I ain't swimming in none of that. And some people it turn into a swamp.
You know, one thing about a swimming pool is they ain't open all year long. Some are outside pools, some are indoor pools. Some take chlorine, some take tablets. So it's not for you to swim in every pool, and it's not for you to swim in every season. So you got to be able to understand the temperature of the water that you're about to get into. You need to look, is that water murky? Is it green? Is it blue? Is it clear? That's the type of water I want to get off. Everything ain't for everybody is what I'm getting at. So we got to quit trying to force people to be what we're being shown they're not, and be patient. That's the dating game, patience. If you with a person, like Keith said, if you can tell in 2 conversations, then don't have a third and a fourth. Like, don't be hard-headed like me. Don't have somebody that you know that if you go in that house, it's a chance you might have to jump out the window or slide through the fire.
First of all, let me put this disclaimer right here. I ain't going to nobody's house for dinner. I'm not meeting you there. If you can't meet me in public at Starbucks for coffee, we can't have a walk on the canal. We can't sit in the park and take a swing. Okay, so no, it's just not happening. Date rape is real, and it happens to grown women. And grown women are even getting roofied when they going out to these clubs and all this, stuff. We got.
And there's another something with that though too, is every time I go and meet somebody new, or when I have gone and meet somebody, I'm talking like I've really been out here doing it, and I ain't been doing nothing. But every time I have gone out to meet somebody new, I send a picture to the people in my village. I give them their name, where I'm going, you know what I'm saying, and around what time I'm supposed to be back. So that way they know who I'm with, where are we going, and where I'm at. And every woman should be doing that, and men too, because now women are setting up men to be robbed and killed and everything. Men, tell somebody who you going with, who you talking to, and if you can, and I would say too, don't let nobody pick you up that you just met. Meet them there in a public place. Okay,
And
meet them there in a public place.
To all my fellow comedians and entertainers, when you are on the road, make her come to your hotel room. Don't go to her house. All right. Make sure that you give her a dummy hotel room. So you got one hotel room that you let them meet you at, and then you got another hotel room that you sleep in. All right. Now don't ask me how I know. I'm just saying.
And I would say, last but not least, I think it was just on the tip of my tongue. When you are out here dating, women, stop going on dates without your own money.
Bingo.
Because if a man gets upset with you and don't want to, stop going on dates without money. Stop ordering stuff that you cannot afford on your own.
Yes.
I have been on a date before, listen, where he didn't have any money. I politely paid for my stuff, and I got up and I left. Because here's the thing. If you ask me, now I'm the type of woman where I don't mind paying for my own. I really don't. And if you treat me good enough, I'll take you out and do things for you a lot, all the time. And those who have seen me in relationship, they can attest to that. Keith has known me long enough to know that I do that. Okay.
Here come more inboxes.
But shut up, DL. Don't try to inbox me.
You're gonna get a prayer tonight before you.
But stop going to places, women, and you don't have your own money. Stop letting men fly you out and you don't have your own money to get back home or to pay for your own hotel. Because we've seen them videos all over social media too. That is the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Now your stupid butt is stranded, and you don't have to be.
And they gonna get on Instagram and finesse some other clown to fly them back home.
Yep. Because here's the thing: what y'all are not paying attention to is you're already reaping what you've sown. When you try to use people to get what you want, and your intentions are not pure, that stuff come right back on you. And best believe, a lot of the times, the way you reap ain't always the same way that you sowed.
Right. And y'all stop being selfish and turn that camera around when y'all be on them yachts and show them sugar daddies that's really funding that trip. Y'all give them their credit. Y'all give them their credit.
That's right. Give them their flowers.
So listen, if y'all take nothing away from tonight's show, listen, DL said don't swim in the same water. Sarah said don't be asking people to come back to your place on the first night, the first date. Okay, it's rude, it's disrespectful. Don't be telling a woman what you can do to her and also the kind of stuff. Especially if you, after the first conversation, you already know if she that kind of woman or not. I mean, like, don't even try it. Don't even try it. That'll get you dismissed immediately. Like Bernie Mac said, immediately. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So listen, y'all, do better. Do better. And stay consistent. Lord, stay consistent, please, fellas. Stay consistent. Stay consistent.
Go back to the basics.
Let's
pick up the phone.
Yeah. And don't bother a woman. She minding her own business. If you don't have no intentions, okay, on doing right, just leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave me alone. Okay.
So don't be talking about what you heard the Lord say, because he ain't told you to interrupt that.
Yeah. That's it.
Jay, on the next one, we should talk about online dating. Oh man, I got a story for y'all that will crack up. I got cat.
I got a story that I don't think I can tell that story on air. I don't think I can tell that story on air, but yeah. So we'll be back, y'all. Third Thursday of the month, all right, for Relationshipology. This your girl, Lady J, and thank you to my guest, Sarah, DDL Marshall, and y'all know him, Keith Omar.
Yeah, I'm a holler. Peace, people. Peace.
All right, y'all. And we are out.
The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. You.